There's my sound effects there. And then before we really, let me hit this here. Let me get that going loud. You hear that? Is that coming through okay, Lofa? Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Can you hear the sounds of the Washington marching band? Can you hear the sweet, sweet tones of Bow Down to Washington being played on the Take 12 podcast? Because the Washington Huskies took down the most hated team in the entire country. The Ducks come in with their egg-colored uniforms. They said it was speckled egg, Katie. They came in dressed like eggs, and those eggs cracked under the pressure of Montlake. The men of Montlake, they took it to him, Katie. It was a purple out. It was the greatest college football game these two eyes have ever seen. And the ending was made everything right. Oh, sorry.
Wow.
It ended.
So that's what the band sounds like, huh? I don't know if you know. When I played them, we shut them out, so they didn't play any tunes. You know, I know it was a long time ago, but
nobody was shutting them out this weekend, baby. Lofa said Lofa said the Ducks would hang 50 on the Dogs. No way, no sir, you get nothing. You leave here with an L. Good night, sir. I'm so happy. Can you tell? Oh, I'm part of the happiest fan base in America, guys.
Good stuff right there.
I can hear my heart beating.
I can feel
my microphone. Oh my God. We will talk Seahawk football, and you guys will get to catch up. I promise. But you guys, I mean, I watched that thing obviously from start to finish. I mean, I was in my seat. Shaquem Griffin, guest on the show. You'll get a proper introduction. Don't worry. Oh, were you guys watching that game? Because I mean, regardless of who you root for, number 8 versus number 7, and just what a college football game. I told producer Katie, they're going for 2 in the first quarter. What more do you want?
Kim, did you check that game out?
I didn't get a chance to watch a full game, but I seen highlights of it. Honestly, I was shocked. I was shocked.
I was
too.
too.
The first thing I seen on the game was talking about Oregon uniforms. They was fresh.
I gotta admit, the mirrored helmet is pretty cool. I have to admit.
But after the game, I don't think they was talking about the uniforms anymore.
No.
It's just a distraction.
Lofa, come on. You said the Ducks would put up 50. Come on.
I mean, and they could have if it wasn't for red zone struggles, which, that was a common theme this weekend. We'll get to that in a moment. But I mean, Lanning, how many times, I don't know if it was the analytics and coaches are getting too in their own head about, well, the numbers say go for it. Hey, man, especially on 4th and 3, in your own territory, on your own 40, and you're going to hand it over to Penix with 2 minutes left to only go 50 yards. If you punt it to him and he goes 80, hey, congrats. You win the Heisman. You proved everybody wrong, right? You got it. And then, continue your season. But you can go on thinking hey, you know what? We put them in the worst possible situation, and they came out on top. He earned it.
Right.
And so to only give him 40 yards, it was 2 plays and a touchdown.
Well, and for a minute in the fourth quarter, I was nervous because Washington's going for it on 4th down because it's like Lanning. I was yelling oh, he suckered us into his game. It was, people are leaving points, guys. People are leaving points out there during a rivalry game. Shaquem.
Yeah, you gotta, especially when rivalry game, you gotta bring it all out. I mean, it's what you're waiting for. So I definitely understand that. And like you said, you got to put yourself in the best situation. Now, when you literally handed it over, it makes it tough. It makes it tough on any defense to be able to say that you're going to hold the guys when they starting to 40, but putting it off and giving your defense the best situation possible to win. I mean, that's proper ball. But like I said, you can't leave stuff out there because that's what happens. Somebody will take full advantage of it.
I know. 80 yards, man. Good luck.
The book also says to hold on 16 sometimes. Sometimes you got to hit. You got to hit. Oh man, but okay,
No,
but real quick though, how about Penix though? How about that throw, man? How about that throw? I mean, the final one. I mean, well, the throw is all game.
Two.
The throw is all game, but the final one especially, he ripped that thing. And how about Odunze? I mean, the NFL is salivating for this guy.
Yeah, they got about 3 receivers that are going to be playing in the NFL, but Odunze, I mean, he is every bit the part that they say he is, and so good to see him come up with the big catches, and just he looked like a man amongst boys out there.
Yeah, for sure.
But I want to take it back because even after they get it a minute 30, they're down 3. They just need a field goal to tie it up. Bo Nix is supposed to be this Heisman Trophy candidate. Like, he should be able to go out there and run the 2-minute drill without really little help from the sideline. I think he's like a 4th or 5th year senior. And so just let him go out. They were like partially huddling and like slow communication, getting in and out. I was just like, yo, you don't have time for all this shit. Like, you better get down there and now you're Lanning's finally going to use his kicker, and he gives him like a 46-yarder. It was just like,
well,
no pressure, kid.
I was most nervous about at the end of the game was how much time was left on the clock. I mean, great throw by Penix, but I was hoping for at least one running play in there somewhere, just because there was so much time left.
But they took what was given, right? Or what they the defense was, the looks they gave him, and so 2-3 plays, and Penix, you got to get the 7.
Dude, while Oregon was driving at the end, my daughter looked at my wife and said, "Mom," and I heard her whisper this. She said, "Mom, if Oregon wins, will Dad be okay?" And I heard her say it, and I looked at her. I said, "No, he will not be okay." Let's start the show.
Take 12 if you want the run uncut. Yeah. Unapologetic from the jump. Yeah. And no politics in this club. Just dirt from the streets and the cliques in the mud. Take 12. Best podcast for the Seahawks. #1 sports talk. Yeah, we got it all live. Take 12. Every episode, 12 hot takes. And we repping for Seattle, my place.
It's the Take 12 podcast. Welcome. Pull up a seat. Enjoy yourself. I am the most passionate fan, Brett Davern, and he is your Seahawks All-Pro middle linebacker, Lofa Tatupu. We are joined today by another Seahawks legend, everybody. Producer Katie is just picking them off left and right over here. Shaquem Griffin joining the show today.
Appreciate you guys.
Man, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for enduring my Washington fandom right off the top. The Take 12 podcast is brought to you guys by Wiener Schnitzel, 2 locations in Western Washington, one of them in Everett, one of them in Fife. Do something different for lunch today. Enough with the burgers without chili sauce on them. That's what I say. I've been saying it for a long time. Enough with the hot dogs without chili sauce on them. Go to Wiener Schnitzel. Get the chili sauce. I recommend it. They also got all of the frozen treats at Tasty Freeze. And producer Katie, what's the deal if you mention the Take 12 podcast?
Free burger.
Well, hold on. You need a microphone. Go ahead.
Free burger.
Free burger now.
A free burger now.
No, shoot, hot dog. I'm so sorry.
Wait, what? No, hold on.
No.
Strike
Come
that.
on, folks. Get it together.
What is going on
It's
at
a hot
Wiener
dog.
Schnitzel?
We got hot dog.
Hot
I was
dog.
about to go over there right now.
Mention the Take 12 podcast. Get free hot dog.
With any other purchase. So, I mean, go in and get a burger meal. Mention the Take 12 podcast. Get that extra dog on top. Do yourself a favor for lunch, everybody. Okay, guys. Well, moving on to the Seahawks because, of course, the Davern family couldn't have another perfect football weekend. It was dashed
4.
on Sunday. This seemed like what has sort of become a bit of a typical Seahawk game lately, a little bit. Sometimes, every once in a while, with an ugly final score, an offense that started hot but then cooled off, a defense that kept you in it. We need to talk about Jason, perhaps, and then a DK frustration penalty, which is it's frustration on top of frustration. Lofa, where do you want to start with this one?
Um, let our guest start. King, did you get a chance to check the game out?
Yeah, I watched the game. I was watching two games at the same time, but yeah, I definitely was timed in on it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's for me. I feel like they, especially defense, they did phenomenal. I feel like they did a lot to kind of hold our score low, but it's just the red zone, man. It was the finish. Like it wasn't the drive. It wasn't it was just the finish.
Yep.
Honestly, I feel like I can feel the energy. I can feel the energy around. That was just for me outside looking in. That them not being able to finish, I know it did a lot to them. But I know it's a really big teaching lesson for them. Honestly, about having the opportunities and taking full advantage of them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Lofa, the offense started hot. They come out on that first drive. It looks like we're going to put up 50 in this thing. And then it just kind of cooled off. Geno ends up, he threw, 41 attempts, completed 27 of them. He has 323 yards, but 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. Kenneth Walker had a day, though. Tyler Lockett doing Tyler Lockett things, but no TDs. So, offense started hot, but then cooled off. Did the Bengals figure it out, or did our offense cool off?
Both offenses were on fire to come out. It was like 14-7 after the first quarter or something like that. It was So yeah, we thought it was going to be a high-scoring affair, but they both settled down, adjusted. A lot of the times, most times, especially for our offense, it's scripted. We get a script so the guys can clearly envision how they're going to play each play.
Did he just say the NFL scripted? Did you catch that? Somebody cut that out, please.
Yes, the plays are, not games.
I know. I'm just kidding.
And so, you get a rhythm and a feel for how the game's going to go, and so that's why you always see the first drive tend to start out well because they're confident, right? And then it becomes kind of a guessing game of what will they present us with on defense and how will they attack us. But I thought it was beautiful to start. It really was, and even Walker, you mentioned. I think it wasn't a pretty day, but he had close to 20 carries, and I think it was like 3.5 a carry, but just sticking with it, allowed for some of the play action to work and some of those shots downfield that we hit, in DK and then Lockett.
Yeah, he's special, though. Let's stay on Kenneth Walker for a second. He's fun to watch. Great hands, had a really great catch. Even the long run up the middle, when he makes his cut back to the middle, he takes on that safety, which as a Seahawk fan is what we want to see. And especially for a guy that's maybe not the tallest guy in the world, it's just fun to see him going out there and being physical like that and being just such a great player in only not even a year and a half so far.
Yeah, he runs with that style that Pete wants, that beast mode style, aggressive downhill attack. We dictate the terms, and so does Charbonnet, and so it's cool. I wanted to see him give a guy a juke move because he got wheels. I want to see him break. I think it was a year ago in New Orleans. He broke up. He hit like 21 or 22 miles an hour on the gun. So I wanted to see the afterburners. But
wow.
It's a long season. There's a reason Beast is Beast. Beast's like 230 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Shaq, you can speak on it. Beast is huge.
Yeah, that's the heavy one. When you take on beast mode, you're gonna feel the weight coming behind it. It's a little different.
It's a beast, literally.
Literally.
As a defender, when you feel the hit, you're just like, wait a minute, what the hell was that?
Yeah. But also as a defender, there's difference between a guy who's gonna turn towards you and run right at your center. It almost looked like he's doing his own private Oklahoma drill out there, honestly. Versus a guy who is gonna hit the spin move button and try to go around you, right? And then that for the game. And do they set that early, or do they come with that reputation pregame? Probably a little bit of both, huh?
Yeah, every running back style is different. And they kind of stick to, it's like creatures of habit, like Beast, he wanted to take it at you, right? And so I think the cool thing about both the running backs we have now, they can run by you, they can juke, they can run you over. So it kind of keeps the defender guessing, but early on, they want to send a message, and I think that's really what it's about, the aggressive run style. So maybe we're just too aggressive because, in that open field, I want to see some highlights. Jump over the dude, I don't know. I've never ran with the ball. Shaquem, I'm sure you've ran with the ball more than I have.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a time and a place to do certain moves. Like I feel like to your point, I know in the beginning a lot of backs may run downhill just to get the pass popping. Now it's like vice versa. Like you want to get that first hit to get the pass popping, but it is a time and a place for you to say, I'm going to take it to this guy and I'm gonna make a move and get that extra yardage. And I totally agree. You got to know how to make that cut sometimes instead of like I got to keep taking to this guy, let him know that I'm coming downhill, and you got to be prepared to tackle. It's just like defense. You set it up. If I'm coming aggressive, next time I'm gonna give you a juke move and I'm gonna keep moving forward. It's like you got to be able to set the defense up as you going to.
It's funny how you come to expect certain things. Like so moving towards the receivers, Lockett had a great day. Metcalf with some great catches, but one of them, the far one down the sideline that he caught, it looked like he was going to move and come back into the field and take that guy on, and instead he carried on out of bounds. I think it was the second to last drive. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying it's funny what you come to expect and then what happens sometimes. It's interesting because, like, on the couch, I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna do what K9 did, and then he doesn't because he usually does. He did earlier in the game. He took a guy on the near sideline, right? So
yeah, he lowered the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I feel like the worst thing is you don't want to be predictable. Well, if we out, watching it, and then you can tell, oh, he's going to run over. Oh yeah, he's going to take it. Yeah, he's going to bounce. You don't want to be predictable, so that's not a bad thing.
The thing with DK is he is definitely unpredictable sometimes. I mean, so Lofa, I texted you right away. I said, here we go. There's another frustration penalty. I mean, you called the call weak. You always call the call weak because the call is always weak, man. They're the refs. But
that shit was weak.
Shaq, like the refs are always going to be weak. But you guys, look, I don't want to be the radio sports guy because that's not what I am, who sits here and goes, he needs to keep his emotions in check or what? Because you want your players to play with fire and passion. I do. I'm a fan, okay? Like, I love it, we talk about it all the time. I want guys coming off the top rope, flying elbows. I love all of it. But it costs the team the 15 yards. These are drive killers sometimes. And so, Lofa, I texted you right away because I was like, well, here we go again. We're going to have to talk about it. Come on, man. Right? I get that he's frustrated. I get he wasn't getting the ball early, all of that, blah, blah, blah. I get it all. It's just that here we go again.
I don't have a problem with this one. This one didn't. Everyone's saying, it cost the team. Look, first of all, his hands were a little high.
You haven't had a problem with any of them.
I did in Rams because the Rams game, it legitimately took us out of contention to come back.
That's true.
And I said that. So, But with this one, ladies and gentlemen, it's still fucking football.
I know.
If you don't hear a whistle,
exactly.
You can get hit.
Yeah.
You will get hit. In fact, that is the one definite, unless you're a quarterback, you're going to get fucking smoked. So I didn't like that the hand was up by the face, but DK's 240 probably has a stronger bench press than me. Anytime you hit somebody, they're going to go flying. And so, like, for a ref to pull the flag, I didn't hear a whistle. Was a whistle blown?
Yeah, well, okay, but you talk about tape and knowing about a guy, Shaq. Like, the league knows this about DK, and DK is huge. So to your point, Lofa, if he even extends that arm a little bit, that player is going to probably, come into my world and do some acting a little bit and flop around a little bit more. And DK is a big guy who just pushed him down, and the poor ref's going to throw the little flag. But Shaq, like, the league knows this, so they're going to do this to him, aren't they?
I can truly say that over the decades, over the years, the game has evolved to something where it's not as harsh, it's not as aggressive, it's not as physical as it used to be. But like that block that DK did, that was a softer version of what you call a crackback. It used to always say, keep your eyes on the swivel. The play is not over, so why should we stop? Honestly, I'll take a crap back like that any day. You push me down, I can deal with that. But you know how it used to be, say, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, somebody would be decleated doing a folding chair and feet to their head. That what it used to be. So it's like, honestly, I feel like the refs are very aggressive with throwing these flags because, like, think about it. Look at where we came from. You still have to play football. When you take the game away from that, it's starting to look different.
I know.
Where opposed to now, if I compare it that way, it's a little softer, so let it go. Was he going to get back up? Yes. Was he hurt? No.
Crackbacks like that.
Can we have some aggression to the game? That's what I used to look for. Like that's football. A lot of us play football to be able to have that. That competitive aggression. It happens from even if you're talking trash, even all that goes through it, all them emotions, all that energy, it comes with it. So it's taking bits and pieces away from it, honestly.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Crackbacks like that, physicality like that is why I went and found the theater department in the first place. I was like, I've played 2 years of football. I've done it. I'm out. I'll see you guys on stage. You guys can come. I'll get you tickets. Don't worry about it. That's when I started getting athletes tickets to my shows.
Speaking of tickets. Speaking of tickets.
Segue.
Epic Seats is one of our sponsors on the Take 12 podcast. If you are buying or selling tickets, go to epicseats.com and use our promo code TAKE12. Let them know who sent you. You'll get $12 off any purchase of $100 or more when buying tickets. And if you're selling, you get a $12 bonus return for each ticket sold if you tell them about the Take 12 podcast.
Nice.
Epicseats.com. Do you want to do...
Nobody beats... Epic Seats.
He just does that for Michael Penix.
Well, for sure. I'll do anything for Michael Penix right now. I'll tell you what. Come on, man. Let's do it. I mean, I don't want to say
for another show. One of your other shows, man.
All right. Hey, listen. One receivers to another. Bobo Mojo is real, everybody. The Bobo Show is here. He breaks the streak of winning when he gets a reception. But those receptions were sweet, and the fight at the end is awesome, and the toughness. And I mean, he took speaking of taking a shot, though, like that was a shot. That one might have always been a flag while you guys were playing. Maybe not while Lofa was playing. I think I just called him old. Sorry.
In so many words.
But the Bobo Mojo is real, and it lives up here in Seattle, and the legend continues to grow.
How did you guys feel about it?
Is that for me or Shaq? Yeah. Kind of just left us on a
talk about.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was waiting on you. I was going to see what you're going to say.
I don't know. We don't even have to say anything. We can move on from that.
No, give him a shout out.
No, leave it. Let me go for the defensive side of the ball. Hey, let's give some. Well, no, actually, before we move on from the offense,
my favorite part of Bobo.
Yeah.
Right when they threw it to him, he got clocked. He's just laying there on the ground smiling and with his hand pointed first down. And Disley picks him up, and for like a freeze frame for a second, he's just kind of floating in the air, smiling, pointing that way.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Hey, before we do move to the defense, we got to talk about Geno. Lofa, I'm sure you'll tell me and everybody out there to RELAX again, like you did earlier this season. Geno put it squarely on himself in his post-game presser. He pointed the thumb right at himself and, talked about how he needed to be better. Everybody saw what happened in the red zone. What was it? 5 trips with no points, an interception down there, the sacks on 4th down, which I want you guys to tell me, O-line, quarterback play, like what's going on. Let's talk about Geno.
Yeah, he knows he has to play better. And that's the first thing he said when he hit the podium. And that's why he's a real leader, man. I mean, he put it on his shoulders and said, hey, man, I got to do better. Even when we win, he always believes he has to do better. So he's saying the right things, but just in terms of doing the right things, just little things of not, when it gets to the 3rd or 4th quarter, game's close, it doesn't have to be a shot because I could see or sense him getting kind of frustrated. Protection was good for the most part. There was a couple times where they feinted or an all-out blitz or zero pressure, and then they backed out late. But by then, the damage is done. Like, he's got to get rid of the ball. And he did one time. Another time, he took a, vicious hit. But he hung tough. Just got to get the ball out, on some of these checkdowns or just run for like 3 or 4 yards and just get out of the down or throw it away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just don't take the sacks. And but he'll get better. I know he will.
Yeah. Shaq?
I honestly want to piggyback off what he just said about Geno believing. I feel like I got tremendous respect for him because for him to be able to take all that in and say it's on me, it's because he do believe that he can be better, his team can be better, and everybody around him. And I feel like, one thing I did learn about Seattle was it's a different energy there. And when you feel that somebody is believing, you'll hear it so much and you will see it so much that it'll really make you want to believe in it. And it show you the value of believing in your captain, believing in somebody because they've been through it. And it's just like, if I can get everybody to feel the same way and we all believing in one thing, everybody hitting on all cylinders. I'm not just talking about this offense, defense, special teams. I'm talking about all of them, plus the coaches, plus the scout team, plus anybody around the organization that say, I believe that this is it. I believe that this team is special. It's just like, now, if you don't know what it looked like, well, believe in Geno. If you don't know what it looked like, believe in Bobby. If you don't know what it looked like, believe in this until yours wake up and say, you know what, let's all believe in one and let's get this thing going. And I feel like it's going to take that when it comes to them to being in the red zone and maybe somebody will mess up on the route. Maybe somebody will miss a block. But it's just like, okay, now we need to tighten this up and say, let's all be right on this play. And you're doing one play at a time. But when everybody believes in somebody or believe in something or believe in themselves, it can happen. But you can't do it one person. You can't think that Geno can do it alone. You can't think that this person can do it alone. It has to be everybody. True. And when you feeling that's what winning looks like. That's what winning feels like when everybody's on one accord believing in one thing, honestly.
Well, we on this podcast, we've always been Geno believers, right? From the preseason where they were trying to figure out who the starter was going to be. And so around here, we've always believed in him. I think, and we've had this talk, Lofa, on here, that Seahawks fans have to get over the sort of 1 foot in, 1 foot out on the whole team, not just Geno. I think like there's an apprehension. I mean, we sort of joke about it. I'm tongue in cheek about it on here all the time, and I'm also a nervous Seahawks fan, so it's real too. But you know what I mean. We got to go all in. I agree with Shaq, but I think it's just they had multiple opportunities in this game, and so this game feels disappointing. The opportunity they got at the end, I didn't even think was going to come. I thought their second to last opportunity would have been the last one. Then they get that next one, and it just feels, it's pretty disappointing that they couldn't cash that in there. That felt like what could have been a sort of vintage Seahawk win, actually. Sort of became what has been a typical loss lately.
Spurts are there.
I think there was just 2 plays that Geno really wants back. The red zone wheel that he threw for an interception to JSN. And if you looked at the film, when I was watching it live, like I just noticed he was spending a lot of time looking over in that area. And it was almost like premeditated, like this is where we're going with the ball. Because they came out in that funky, like near eye shotgun or whatever pistol. And then they motioned over. And then they had, I don't know if it was Parkinson or Fant, and then Canine behind him. So like if they just throw it out to Canine, because that's what the read should have told him, you got Canine with a blocker and then, 10 yards to get in. My money's on Canine to break that pylon. So that's one that he's going to look at. And then 4th and goal, the very last play is like, it's 4th and goal. You just throw it up. Like I'm looking for DK and I'm like, jump ball. Yeah. Go get it, buddy.
I didn't want to see it end like that, honestly. Just give it a chance. Just do whatever you can to get the ball out your hand.
Well, the last time that they had a quote unquote bad taste in their mouth was after the Rams game, and look what they did after that. So let's hope they, and we know they will get back after it, and we'll see what happens. The defense, you guys, like you said, Lofa, the Bengals started out hot, but then the defense, they really clamped down. Some great games out there from Trey Brown. I thought Jamal had a great game. Pass rush kind of got there towards the end. The defense was great.
They stepped up, and I mean that offense to 17 at home, it was incredible. The D-line really. I mean, there was nowhere to run, and then also we were finally testing Joe Mixon, and they were slowly getting better every week in the run game. I think he went like up to 80 yards last week, and he was looking for his first 100-yard game. It was our first test, and I say we passed, just want to get a couple more sacks and turnovers because, Shaq, we live off the turnover. Like that solves a lot of problems, right? Got to get those. But, I was really impressed with the D-line. Draymond, he showed up. Jay Reed was balling, And, so Mafe got another sack. It looked good, man, up front. And then, credit to Trey Brown, man. Every time you look up, he's just making a play. And he had another nice breakup where they called the pass interference on T. Higgins against him. So happy for that guy, too.
No, I feel like the defense is definitely the example right now, honestly. I feel like just watching them guys run around, like they's humming to the ball. And I was happy to see Jamal out there. Honestly, after last week, it's a little banged up. I didn't even know that he was going to be, playing. So I was excited to see him humming because I ain't gonna tell you, he brings a certain juice to the field that's just it's second to none. I don't know how he does it, where he gets it from, but it's just him to have that juice on the field. Like, I don't know. It seemed like they were having a lot of fun out there making plays. Dude, and that's what you want to see. Like, I miss seeing that, man.
Yes,
I miss seeing that.
That's what I was talking about earlier as my sort of fandom. Like I'm sitting on the couch laughing at Jamal in a way because I like in the way that I just love his sort of antics out there. I don't even know what to call it. Like he's celebrating more. He's the Seahawks' biggest cheerleader on the field, and he's hilarious. And he plays with such a personality. You're totally right, Shaquem. Like that, and Lofa, we've talked about like the team. Not that they need an identity or whatever, but like he definitely brings personality and identity when he's out there.
You could see it, and you could feel it. The presence that he had in terms of just being out there. They throw a check down and there's nobody, and then all of a sudden, out of the corner of the screen, just a blur comes and boom, just tackle for loss. Just and then getting up, just strong walking or flexing, just like letting them know, I'm back. Yep. And so it's great. There is so many great players, but Jamal, that energy that Keem's talking about is contagious. And so if it looked like they were having a little more fun, because he brought that. Because I know they're coming off a bye, might be down a little bit, energy might be lacking.
You got to feed off somebody.
Jamal brought that shit, and and it was it's cool. After the last 2 years that he's had, where he's missed most of the games, I was just happy to see him back. Even last week when he was supposed to get his first action, 9 plays, and then he was out with the concussion. So, I know that meant the world to him to be back on the field.
Let me
9 plays. Yeah, had a spark.
A correction. A correction. Earlier in the show, I said 5 red zone opportunities, 0 points. It was 5 red zone opportunities with 10 points. And what I was referencing, I think, was the 3 drives in the second half inside the 8-yard line with 0 points for the offense. Just clean that up a little bit. How about the big battle through the air? There was a battle through the air.
Delta Airlines.
Katie. Yeah, Delta Airlines. Go ahead, take it.
Delta Airlines is a proud sponsor of this Take 12 podcast. You should sign up for 12 status if you are a Washington resident and have not yet. Shaquem, do you know about 12 status? Have you heard about this?
Do I know about 12 status?
Yeah,
I used to see the commercials.
Are you a member?
My brother was on one at one point.
Let me know.
Even had my mom walking by being one of the extras.
Yes.
So, I know a little something about it. Yes.
So if you have not signed up for 12 status yet, you have to do it for Shaquem's mom.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
This is why Katie does the commercials. Yeah. Perfect.
Go to 12status.com. Fly Delta when you fly because they're the best. 12% off every 12th of the month at the team store. And there's another one too.
You get priority if you're signed up for 12 status, and you get 1 mile for every yard the Seahawks throw.
That's priority.
Come on. Shaquem's mom needs you to do it. So 12status.com.
Priority status.
Yeah, you got 300 miles plus yesterday.
That's what I was going to say. You got 323 extra miles yesterday if you were signed up. So make sure you're signed up over there, everybody. Man, I totally forgot where I was even going to go next.
The air.
I know. Yes, the battle that was going down the bulletin board material or lack thereof from McNasty, from our guy McNeil on the show. McNasty was bringing the heat on the last episode. How about the battle between Jamar Chase and Spoon, or Jamar Chase and the Seahawks secondary, and who do we feel like won that battle, and was it much to do about nothing, or what?
How many yards did he finish with?
McNasty, where's McNeil? Do you want to defend yourself?
Yeah, McNeil, show your face. McNeil, this
like who
McNeil
won the
was
battle?
Talking big smack.
Yeah, you're the one who brought us the battle. Who won? He's not listening.
Wow.
He's in the chat.
You don't want to talk about it?
Dude, I bet he's on.
He had
He
6
left
for 80
the phone.
yards.
Sleep.
6 for 80 yards and no touchdowns. I'd say he did not win.
Yeah.
Even though they won the game. He would argue that they won the game, so he did win. But
right.
I mean,
we held him to the under. That's for sure.
You know what a chase game looked like, and he didn't have one.
True.
It looked like double those.
There were catches that made me nervous for the future of the game. There were catches where he was kind of wide open that I was like, "Uh-oh, this is going to be a long day." But like Lofa said, yeah, the 80 yards, which is a lot more than I would have had on Sunday. But
with that attitude, I mean, he still looked good. I mean, made 6 of the 7 or 8 targets. So yeah, he's a beast. But yeah, I was really hoping on McNeil's take for this one because he was last week. He was like, "Did you hear the trash talking going back and forth?"
All this beef.
I heard DK one that made it up, right?
Yeah,
right? That's what I heard. I did hear that.
It was it was kind of weak beef, to be honest, Lofa. Like the ref called weak.
Yeah. Even like reading it, I was like, I don't know if there's a way to really say that disrespectfully. Then I watched the actual clips of them talking, and it was just like, he's a great receiver, but I got spooned, winning this matchup.
DK said like he's going to get the best of him, or so it was like not exactly the smack talk you're used to hearing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we got to take a quick break, and then let's look around the league a little bit and also talk to Shaquem about what he's been up to lately and all that good stuff. So we'll be right back after this break. Hey, and we're back on the show. That was cool. There you go. Shaquem, Lofa, anything surprise you as you're watching football from this weekend? We can dip back into college if you'd like, Lofa. It didn't surprise you because you said what was going to happen on the show in South Bend or what you were fearful of, and it sort of came to fruition there.
So, Keem, this is what I had a rough weekend. My Hawks lose. My Trojans get embarrassed.
They got shellacked for the shillelagh.
They got smoked.
I've been holding on to that one all weekend.
But so, going into it, I was cautiously optimistic. I was like, we have a chance because we have Caleb. And we go out there. The only thing I was afraid of was we came off a triple overtime, like barely pulled it off against Arizona last week. Now we got to go on the road to Notre Dame, who just got their teeth kicked in by Louisville. So a rivalry game. There's no worse scenario to walk into a rivalry game. And it looked like we walked into it, just like, hey, we're here, we're going to win. And then, 24-3. Just like,
I blame your guy Leinart. I blame Leinart. Him and Brady Quinn are out there on the field in their Letterman jackets. Leinart's reenacting the Bush push. Nah, jinxie, bro. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, but so it was a rough weekend.
Sorry.
Yeah, man.
I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
I'm sorry to hear that because you don't want to come in on a rivalry half-stepping. That's what they call rivalries for.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys.
That's exactly what they call rivalries for. Like you never know what's gonna happen. You come in there slack and somebody gonna take advantage.
Take us inside of these rivalries, you guys. I mean, you were parts of them as pros. You were parts of them in college. I'm sure going back into even high school. Like, what are just some of the biggest rivalry games you guys ever played in, and some of your biggest memories from those games, Lofa? Do you have any in high school, even going way back?
Absolutely, with the Franklin Panthers. I think we were 2-1 against them. They got 1, we got 2. But no, the rivalry game I remember the most, we're playing UCLA, and Keem, like you were just talking about, like you can't, no half stepping in the rivalry game, man. It's all in. Like let's go. They're 6-6 or 6-5. They're really not a great team. We're 12-0, and we kind of just rolled into it. Like, okay, we just got to beat them, like we always do, and then we're going to go to the Natty. Like we were probably a little too eyes forward on the Natty. We look up in the fourth quarter, like we were up comfortably, like 2 or 3 scores. We look in the fourth quarter, they're only down like 3 points, and it's kind of like, what the fuck just happened? Well, several turnovers, a punt return to the house later. Like we're fighting and clawing to get back in the game. And so that's what, what happened. So it just shows you, as we saw yesterday, any given Sunday, just like Saturday, any given Sunday, man, there was some wild shit that happened in the NFL. We'll get back to that. But Keem, greatest rivalry memories.
Definitely it was us going against, USF. That's South Florida and Tampa. And, it's crazy because even our undefeated season, we was going back and forth. Like, it's an ongoing battle. Like, I just remember how many rushes I had. I had like 70 rushes. And I'm rushing every single play, just going back and forth from one sideline to the other. And they had a scrambling quarterback, so you can know it was a lot of running. And I just remember, like, we still going back and forth. We getting close to the end of the fourth quarter, and I think they was up by like 3 points. And I remember our returner, I think he got drafted to the Vikings. But besides that, I remember he came over. He was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm finna end the game right here, right before the kickoff. And then everybody looked at him like, man, just go get the ball and then let's keep this thing going. They kicked the ball to him, and I just remember he ran straight to the sideline and all the way down, scored. We back up again. It's saving our season. And you just know, like you said, like you have your eyes set on something, and you forget that you still have to finish. Like you're not there yet, and we'll be in moments where it's like they wasn't having the season that we was having, but we came in thinking that we're just gonna take advantage. We're gonna ball out. We ain't worrying about it until they start smacking you in the mouth, and then it wakes you up like, if you gonna finish this or they gonna finish y'all. So yeah, I know the heart rate feeling of it, like, I don't know what's going on, but we got to do this right now. Yeah, you feel the heart pounding in your chest every play.
It's real. It's real.
Listen, I had this conversation with my 8-year-old baseball players yesterday. We were up in the game. It's the second inning. They start the "I believe that we will win" chant from the dugout. I was like, you guys don't know about this yet, but watch out what's going to happen. And we lost by 1 in the end. Oh, Coach Brett had very
"We believe" chant. I love it.
Yesterday, yes. I know how it goes, guys. Believe me. Shaquem, what have you been up to, man? I mean, one of just Seahawk legend, fan favorite in your time here with the Hawks, and what have you been up to lately?
This building and transitioning. I feel like for right now, I got into motivational speaking, so I've been traveling a lot doing that. I started doing some out the country now, so it's progressively growing. And honestly, when I started, it was a little nerve wracking. You get in that transition and you're trying to be committed to something else, and trying to put that same energy into something that you used to do with football. That was the main focus for me. It was like, what can I give myself to and give it everything? Mm-hmm. And it's like, I wanted to have a purpose. I wanted to be able to still serve and what's the difference? And I feel like, you hear me, I talk a lot about energy and feeling something because it does have an impact. Energy can be contagious no matter if it's good or bad. So, me being able to get into motivational speaking and, obviously having a platform and being able to have the ability to be seen by people, it's been going good, and we working on doing a movie now. So thank goodness the writer's strike is over. But for the most part, man, it's just, going through transitioning, working my craft every day, meeting people, speaking to people, getting better at it every single time I go. And focus on telling something that's going to be memorable and that can help, not just athletes, but families also, parents, cousins. Because, I feel like for me is, the reason I want to do it because I feel like I learned a lot, not only just from my family, but even being around the Hawks, learning how to believe in something and then noticing the steady trends that I had throughout my life where, my family believed in me, even though I may believe in a little bit, maybe even though I may go through certain things, I may be discouraged, and I still had that factor of somebody else believed in it. And then as I got older, it started to make sense. They believed in me so much that eventually I woke up to believing in it also. And I kept saying it. I kept speaking it. And then I go and meet these guys in Seattle, and you having conversations with KJ. You having conversations with Bobby. You have these vets who learn from other vets about believing in themselves. And then you walking around the sideline and we down by a few points in, and you hear Russ saying, just believe, just believe, just believe. You see this ongoing occurrence for decades, and it's just like, how do I share that? Because that can be a missing factor for somebody's life. I don't know who, but I know if I can reach to them and tell them this, like, how can you apply this and make it better for you? How can I get you to believe in something or someone until you be able to wake your belief up and keep it going, keep it pushing, and accomplish whatever you want.
Hell yeah, man. I can still remember some speakers like coming to our high school when I was in high school, and like it's assembly day. So you get to get out of class, first of all, right?
Yeah,
and there were always like the kids in the stands who were like, oh, this again, like they're not even listening. I'll tell you, man, I was the one listening in the stands. I was the one, I wanted to be an actor that, because like I told you, I quit football. So I had, and I couldn't get famous doing football. So I thought, okay, I'll be an actor. But against all odds, it's a hard thing, just like being a professional athlete in a way. And so, but I was the kid who was actually sitting there listening and taking it all in and then trying to apply it. And I still remember some of those messages today. So like, if you're ever out there, like no one's listening, just remember there is one, there is always one.
All you need is one.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you. We have a silly questionnaire that I ask former Hawks when they come on this show. Would you like to take the Seahawk legend questionnaire?
I mean, I'd be crazy to say no.
I mean, what if he said no? Yeah,
his most official title I've ever
given. He left the option out there, but I wasn't going to say no.
I'd say
no. If I learned anything from my theater class, what the rule is, don't say no, right, Katie?
Yeah.
Yes.
And.
Right. So.
No, but.
No, Lofa. That's
all right. Shaquem Griffin, heads or tails?
Heads.
Always?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
Okay. Why your jersey number? Is there a significant?
My jersey number 49.
It could be any of your jerseys, college, pro. If you have a story about it, would you like to share?
Jersey number. I would say my college jersey number 18. Because there was a former safety who was there that was wearing it. I thought he was pretty cool, honestly. Honestly, me growing up, my motivator was my twin brother. He was always in competitiveness, so that's what I looked up to. So I didn't really have stories for numbers, but I know I wanted number 18 because I wanted to make it look cool. I wanted 18 to be in stores. I wanted 18. That was my fantasy of leaving high school, going to college. And I'm glad to say that I was able to make that happen. But it's because I wanted 18 because I was like, it just stands out to me. I don't know. It's just something about it. And I said, I want to make this number shine because I don't see 18s just all over the place. So,
what was it like? You and your brother, I mean, the stories are well noted, the competitiveness and, growing up together and all that. I mean, what's it like to be that competitive, but then come to the Seahawks with Shaquille, where there's a guy who's the head coach and all he preaches is competitiveness. I mean, those practices had to be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that what kind of gave us that extra edge, especially when we, on a team or, playing for somebody, we always had that competitiveness at heart because we were always going against each other.
Yeah.
He's 1 minute older and he won't let you down before. He'll tell you, like, I'm the older brother. He's 60 seconds older, man. You're not that far. So it's just like, imagine having a point to prove because your brother's 60 seconds older than you and he's holding over your head. So it's like, I can't stop because he's going to hold it over me. So it's always going back and forth, back and forth. And that's why I said, like, I didn't really have, like, a whole bunch of idols and stuff like that. It was him because, like, I'm going to show you that I'm live too. Like, don't worry about it. Like, we're going to keep going back and forth. But,
what were those? You got to take me inside those battles as a kid, though, because I mean, what were there crazier battles in the pros, in college, or out in the street when you were kids playing? Like I used to play football. We used to play football on concrete with parked cars around and stuff like that. I mean, you got to give us some of these wild stories from back in the day.
Anything that you can get a win at was competitive. So no matter if. We'll have at times where how you wash your socks and you'll lose them sometimes. Like we'll count up our socks at the end of the week. They see who really kept track of their socks. Like that's a dub. Okay, that's bragging rights. We'll be walking to school, which is about 4 miles, 3 miles or 4, 3, whatever the case may be. And you got cracks in between the sidewalks. We will try to say you only can take 2 steps. We were shorter then, so you used to take about 3 or 4 each step. It's like. If you take more than 2, that's a foul. We got 3 miles to walk. So imagine seeing 2 twins striding, walking, trying to make 2 steps every single. Yeah. If if I took 3 steps and then I was down a point, so we keeping track of each other's score. By the time you get to school, you start your day with a dub. We will go and eat at Denny's. We'll get the I guess it was kids eat free. We'll try to hurry up and eat our food just because if you're the first to eat your food, then you can go finish your mom food. You can finish your dad food. So let's hurry up and eat because guess what? When I finished my dad food, I ate more. That's a dub. So when I say everything was competitive, everything was. I didn't even get to the sports yet. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. That's what's incredible. That's what's incredible.
Oh my goodness! I mean, dude, I'm coaching.
I didn't even say anything about track, no football, no nothing.
You guys, I got parents delivering chicken fingers and fries into the dugout yesterday. I'm trying to get these kids to hustle out there. There's no way I can motivate. Are you hearing this kind of motivation? I could, but you see, it comes from within and it comes from each other and it comes from your peers, doesn't it? I mean, it's just, wow, my goodness. And going all the way back like that, no wonder they're ballers. My goodness, Lofa.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it. Okay, next question. Can you believe at the beginning this segment was supposed to be rapid fire? No way. If called upon, would you rather punt or punt return?
Punt return.
Uh-huh. And experience punt returning? Have you taken it to the house?
No, I haven't. But I did a few punt returns and kick returns when I was in high school, stuff like that. So I got a couple of breaks here and there, but I feel like I would have had more opportunities.
For
right?
sure.
Then I would have probably got me one, but only
That's all about
did
reps.
like maybe 3 probably returns in high school.
Yep.
But I used to be the one I had to always practice. Like, man, I can't wait till I get my shot. I didn't really have too many of them, but it's cool.
What was your go-to halftime snack?
Go-to halftime snack. See, when I was in high school, it was the era of Marshawn Lynch having gummies and all kind of snacks. So I used to have gummies and Starbursts inside my girdle in high school. So I used to eat on the sideline. Does that make me sound very young? I don't know. It sounds like it. But he set the trend.
Yeah.
He set the trend. Got to learn from somebody.
Starburst, holler at my guy.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's go.
At least they have a wrapper
Lofa.
around them.
I think he had Skittles, but I didn't.
Skittles, yeah.
I didn't want to have a bag of Skittles. Like if I have like 8 Starbursts, it seems like a little lighter.
Skittles just fall out.
Yeah, I didn't want that. I was like, what if like the bag unravel, I get hit and then boom, then somebody like taste the rainbow. Like you're not gonna get me like that. I'm just getting like 8 Starbursts and pack it in my pads and I'm good.
Now, yeah. Also, the Starburst, the color. If those come unwrapped, it's going to be a mess. Lofa, you ever keep anything in your girdle?
What?
All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, and it's going to happen, I think, in the next game, right? Very soon. Wait, who do we got next?
2 games.
I've lost track. 2 games. Yeah, 2 games from now. On a scale of 1 to 10, Shaquem, how bad do you want to see these Seahawk throwback uniforms with the silver helmets? We started asking this question long before they announced it was going to happen. We take credit for it happening, actually, and it's finally going to happen. I mean, I think they're going to look fresh. I
say 11. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the swag and unity. So I like when they kind of can take it back and put the retros out because it's supposed to mean a special time when you're bringing them uniforms out. I'm a firm believer on that, especially when it comes to looking good, feeling good, playing good. So you bring out some fresh unity, something new. I mean, it does feel kind of cool to kind of bring them unis out because it's going to bring a different energy. At least that's how I feel when I have on fresh uniforms. Like,
when you guys will wear the action green, isn't that what it's called?
That's something like
those
that.
were always, yeah. You could tell there was something extra in those.
It's like a different energy. It's like, man, I'm feeling myself. Like it's just a little different, you know.
Yep. Look good, play good, coach. Look good, play good. You see this kid at my game yesterday had one of those sleeves on, and I was like, "Hey, nice sleeve." He goes, "Look good, play good, coach."
That was your kid.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hilarious. Thank you, Katie.
Shaquem, what is your speaking of coaches? What's your favorite Pete-ism? Did Pete Carroll have a saying? I know he's got a lot of them. What's your favorite?
compete. that's like the number one thing. Like you're gonna hear that at least 100 or a few hundred times a week. Everything compete. The when we playing basketball, it's compete. When you walk in the room, compete. When you know what I'm saying, when you tapping in, you about to compete. You're gonna have to compete written in words on all your your PowerPoints. Like you're gonna see it a lot. It was always that. But it's just like I said, like I had a competitive nature and a competitive heart. So compete was like, yeah, like I'm feeling the juice. It got me going. But I feel like for Pete Carroll, my moment was just seeing him in this Monarchs, and he always had these same gloves. Like I don't know how old these gloves really are. No one gave me a year, so I don't know. I don't know if you seen the gloves when you was there. I don't know, but I remember him catching one-handed catches and then throwing the ball in the indoor inside the basketball goal, and then run up and down. So it's just like you can't tell. It's a lot of Pete moments. Like you can't do nothing but enjoy them all. You be out wild. And then 707 throwing no lookers like Pat Mahomes. Who we been had this over here. You get what I'm saying?
I want to come back as Pete Carroll. Really, I really do. Oh man, you know, just on this, you're talking about competing though, you guys. I mean, I am coaching these kids. How young is too young to start that? Not that level, of course, maybe, but like just sort of competition based, you know, in all things. I mean, you guys must have for you guys, it must have just been your whole lives.
I think it's easier when you have siblings. I mean, I think
that's,
because I had an older sister and then some cousins that live, you know, with us too. And so like they all played sports. And so I always wanted to be like them. I was like, I'm going to play sport. And so, like, you know, you get those extra hours a little earlier.
Yeah.
And then you just, you know, kind of come into your own, whether, you know, you are ultra competitive or you like music or you like arts like my sister did. She went off in that direction, teaching, you know. It just is like I gravitated towards it when I was really young, but we had examples to really look at.
You hear that, Katie? I hear what they're saying. I'm gonna push these kids, man. They're gonna start.
I definitely agree with that. It's easy when you have siblings, but for those who don't, I feel like the best thing is to hear it. Like you don't gotta be forceful to say, "Hey, go compete." Like if you see your kid playing a game or something like that, and you know a lot of kids that play a game, they'll lose, they'll get frustrated. It's words of affirmation that can help them to say, you know what? And so look at it differently. Like if you lose, you get another chance to compete. You know what I'm saying? Like don't think that it's over for you. Like you can't try again. Like you know, compete a little harder. Then you maybe a win. Try a little harder. You maybe a win. Like just saying those words, it's like competing. You know, you're gonna because obviously no one that I ever spoke to in life ever won every single thing. No one, literally. But either they had another chance to do it and get better at it, but that's when you choose to use the words compete. Like you get to compete and do another time. Like be grateful for that. Like don't be sad. It's okay. We all lose, but we have another chance to compete. Do better next time. Like you can start it even if you don't have siblings. It's just using the words of affirmation that will help.
You hear that, Ducks fans? Do better next time. Hear that?
Wow, stick that in there.
Also, Katie, I'm knocking those chicken nuggets out of their hands next time. That's it.
I mean, come on now.
Your last easy day was yesterday.
Come on now.
Let's go. Shaquem, where were you during Beastquake?
Say that one more time.
Where were you during the Beastquake?
The Beastquake. Where was I?
Mm-hmm.
Probably at home, high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe, probably eating McDonald's. I mean, growing up in St. Petersburg, Florida, in high school, you weren't doing too much unless you just hanging out with your friends or you at home. We ate a lot of McDonald's too. A lot of McDonald's and pizza. So that's.
I mean, it was a playoff.
I guarantee I was probably just on the couch eating pizza.
Absolutely,
or something like that.
Yeah,
my dad used to have us doing like.
He was like 15 or something.
Like we used to do like 200 something sit-ups. We had to do 150 push-ups every night. Or I was probably washing dishes.
You hear that, Katie?
It's
you
not,
hear that, Katie?
Yeah.
They're eating chicken nuggets in the dugout.
But you didn't hear what he said. The 200 push-ups and 300. I think that's another thing that a lot of these young kids they miss.
Oh yeah. My dad used to have us literally in front of the couch. They have us either doing 150 push-ups or 200 sit-ups. Yeah. Or some days we'll do like the 52 card. I think that was from Ray Lewis. He had us doing that. And that's just something like, oh, you want to watch TV? Well, do push-ups while you're watching TV. Don't just sit there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What should we do? Grab this deck. I can show you something. And that's how I learned about the 52 cards. Like, that ain't no joke.
I love it.
That ain't no joke.
And finally,
because me and my brother were doing it at the same time. So it's like, I get a card, he get a card, vice versa. Or he'll make us do push-ups on commercials, stuff like that.
Your brother's going to hear we did it over an hour. He's going to come on. You're just going to be like, watch this.
You guys better clear your schedule.
The final question of our Seahawks questionnaire, and one of my favorites that we've ever done, is what is your favorite play as a Seahawk? Take us through it.
My favorite play, definitely the playoff game versus Aaron Rodgers in the Packers.
Yeah, I knew it.
That's definitely my favorite. I feel like it wasn't even a sack. I feel like I felt more. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, I felt amazing once I seen the person who was next to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you really can't script that. You really can't. It's a moment that happens or it don't. And when I literally rolled up, got up, and I'm like, I thought it was just me at first, and I seen my brother, I seen this guy with dress. Like, oh my goodness, it was you. You was right there behind me, and I just think like my whole heart was like, I don't believe this is happening. And you just feel the whole moment, the crowd, and you know how we celebrate. Like them guys celebrate. So Bobby, KJ, everybody jumping, going. It was so much emotion in the air. It was outstanding, honestly.
He was less than 60 seconds behind you, but he was behind you.
Yeah, I mean. You got to throw the 60 seconds after. You could have said 1 minute.
Oh man!
Well, I hope that plays in the movie.
Yes.
It turned out came in hot. Oh, you guys, I could talk all day with you fellas, but we are out of time. That's producer Katie's rule, not mine. So. Write your angry letters to her. Thanks for checking out the Take 12 podcast, everybody. We are here twice a week during the season for all of your Seahawks listening pleasure. Shout out to our sponsors, Wiener Schnitzel, Delta Airlines, EpicSeats.com, and Simply Seattle. I still have the questionnaire music going. There we go. That's better. Check us out on social media at Take12Pod. You can find these guys on social media, I'm sure. Shaquem, give out your handles.
Social media, Twitter, Shaquem Griffin. Just put it together. Real easy. Instagram, Shaquem_Griffin. Pretty simple. Just don't forget the underscore. And yeah, I mean, TikTok is the Griffin twins, but we're working on it. We really getting to learn the TikTok.
Oh, I see the green screen in the background.
Yeah, we getting some stuff together. We working on it day by day. But hey, Shaquem Griffin, you'll find it very easy.
Appreciate you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much. It's such a fun episode. Let's do it again.
Always, of course. Thank you for having me too.
Appreciate you, King.
Of course.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh.
Don't worry.
I thought you were going to let him go. I was like, we got to break it down.
We're going to break it down right now.
All right.
This is how we end every episode. We put our hands in the middle just like we finish practice or one of those competitive sessions in the backyard, whatever you want. Shaquem, break us down.
Okay, yeah. Appreciate you guys for, coming out, putting in a good day of work. I can definitely say we all got better today. So on a count of three, I want to say, let's be great. Yeah, everybody got that? 1, 2, 3. Let's be great.
Let's be great.
There we go.
Hell yeah.